Hey, this is Seb, and Arma Reforger just released a big new update. This release follows the recent 096 update as the next big step towards a complete ground support milestone. In this video, we're going to take a look at everything the update has to offer, which includes a brand new terrain, new weapons, and a dynamic co-op scenario with randomly generated missions. Now let's check it out together. Beginning with Arland. Arland is the new island terrain from Bohemia. It's a summer Baltic island that is 4x4 square kilometers. Now that's not very big, and that's in my mind exactly what Arma Reforger needs. A smaller infantry focused map for the current game modes that we have. Here you can see some scenes I rendered in the Infusion workbench. Arland is a new original island, meaning we have not seen a version of this before in any previous Arma game. From my time playing on it, I can already tell it's a great map for infantry focused combat. Something like King of the Hill would be interesting to see on it. I also believe the game mode conflict is going to feel a lot different on Arland than it does on Everon, just because of the sheer size difference between Everon and this new island. With a smaller map, it shouldn't take too long to get into some action, and it will probably force more teamwork out of the factions trying to dominate the terrain. The island is divided by a large hill, with the center point being Signal Hill. To the west there is a military base and airport, and to the east is the main town. To the south there's a smaller settlement with an overlooking church. But it's not only Arland that is new, we have a new scenario named Combat Ops. Combat Ops is a co-op experience that has generated missions for you and your buddies to play. This is something the community has been wanting since launch. When playing Combat Ops you will have 3 missions to choose from, and you have free range to select which one to do first. Once you have completed them all, you extract the scenario. At the moment there are no real mission variety outside of random spawning locations, so for the scenario to remain relevant or even popular, it will need a lot more missions and options for the host to select from. The framework for Combat Ops is public and it can be tweaked with the Infusion workbench. There should already be some published documentation on it, meaning that anyone can customize their own Combat Ops experience, or even build something entirely new from it. Hopefully these scenarios will become modules for a game master or a future editor in Arma 4, making customization to it even more streamlined, removing the need for workbench tweaks. Furthermore, we have new weapons in this update. The SA-58 has a P and V version. It is based on the VZ-58, which is an older AK style Czech rifle, and it's chambered in 7.62x39. The rifle is available in the arsenal for the FIA faction, and the SA-58P has a standard fixed wooden stock, and the SA-58V has a metal folding stock that is meant for vehicle crew or airborne units. It doesn't actually fold as there is no real purpose for that yet. For the Americans we got a scope for the M16A2. The scope has a fixed 4x zoom, and it can be attached to any M16A2 unless there's a GL attached for some weird reason. The Colt scope should make longer range engagements a little bit easier. There is of course more new assets like bunkers, medical backpacks for Soviets and the US, as well as hundreds of fixes and tweaks to multiplayer, performance and overall game stability. But of course there are still bugs and hiccups here and there, but the team is working hard to track and fix them as they occur. One of the better improvements I think, which is in early development, is the new medical system. It's still early in development, but we can see the first iteration of being able to bandage individual body parts, as well as teammates being able to treat friendlies. When the fundamentals are nailed down, I believe the next step is to add complexity, things like tourniquets, medication, or even packing bandages and so on. There has also been some improvements to the conflict game mode and game master that builds on what came with 096. With 096 we got the base seizing overhaul, where you now capture bases with the dominancy feature, meaning you have to be superior in numbers to take an enemy base. Now we're seeing more of the services being available. We also have some more UI improvements. But in regards to the roadmap of Arma Reforger, we're still missing some key features for ground support before we can call the milestone complete. For instance, we're still missing mines and a more in-depth medical system, AI improvements and free-form building for conflicts, as well as some assets. But many of the main components of the milestone has fallen into place. Now let's talk quickly about the future updates. When this milestone is complete, there are 2 more milestones to go. The Air Assault update that has helicopters, revive and suppressors, and the Final Strike update that should bring us more armored vehicles and mortars. With the current pace of updates, it's unclear when Reforger will hit 1.0, but we know for a fact there will be support past the milestones and the full release out of early access. We know this because Arma Reforger is the foundation for Arma 4. All the work put into Reforger's development is directly beneficial for Arma 4 and the future it might hold for us. As I have stated many times before, I think many of the features and updates we see in Reforger are directly gonna be involved in Arma 4 in some way, and it's therefore in our best interest to check it out and give feedback to the dev team on things we like, things we hate, and things we just want to see in Arma 4. But that's all from me about the ground support update. Please consider subscribing if you liked the video. It helps me out, and I will continue covering more of the updates as they come out for the Arma platform. From me to you, stay safe.